What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily, JamiroFan2000, the beard of wisdom of the online Jamily here with yet another episode of the Jamiroquai Minute. All the latest Jamiroquai news we finally had after nearly a month-long delay or just silence in question. We had an update from JK over at Air Studios in London where apparently they have been going into a second session of strings recording for all the new material for Jamiroquai Album 9. Also, in addition for this episode of the Jamiroquai Minute, I just made another new Jamiditorial release for the online Jamily to read in their own time. So let's get into more news about that.
Hi, this is David from the Jamiroquai site, and you are watching the Jamiroquai Minute.
In further never-ending updates from Jamiroquai Album 9, I had to quote a Jamiroquai Minute to note that it's been nearly 2 to 3 weeks since the last major update from Jamiroquai at the beginning of March of 2026 of JK and that great, amazing, hard, large headdress, performing along to apparently a salsa interlude that will be one of the interludes that will be intermingled in one of the new 9th Jamiroquai album tracks. But it's been nearly 2 to 3 weeks, but we did finally get a new studio update from Jamiroquai, and in this case, Jamiroquai apparently is back at Air Studios in London on March 22nd of 2026, working on string section recording, extra recordings for Jamiroquai Album 9, and JK did a pose with himself with the whole string section that was working at Air Studios very hard on Jamiroquai Album 9 on recording all of the string portions for some of the new material from Jamiroquai Album 9, but they did share that group photo over on the Jamiroquai HQ official social media, so if you'd like to see that great group photo with JK with the amazing musicians comprising the string section recording over at Air Studios in London, working on Jamiroquai Album 9. I'll be sure to put a link to that group picture down below in the description area of this episode of the Jamiroquai Minute down below. So now on to the final piece of news for this episode of the Jamiroquai Minute. And lastly, for this Jamiroquai Minute episode, I just wanted to mention that my long-running series of nearly 2 years called Jamiditorials, where I've been doing op-eds about various topicality of Jamiroquai over the last nearly 30 years of their musical history, I just finally released my 20th Jamitorial release. It's pretty amazing how many of these I've been writing over the months when overall the Jamily have been enjoying these long reads. But this 20th Jamitorial release is simply titled Singular Motifs, the conceptual album eras of Jamiroquai single release cover arts from between 1993 to the present. This Jamitorial is focusing basically on the conceptual directioning and how the album, the album's concepts really mirrored onto the single cover artworks for all the singles that were released, comprised of every one of the 8 album eras of Jamiroquai's discography. But like I said, I've been releasing these Jamiditorials via my Instagram and of course in Imgur albums for people that aren't very Instagram friendly. So if you'd like to check out this 20th Jamitorial release, and I do assure you there are going to be more mini Jamiditorials and of course the 2 remaining Jamitorial topics that I announced back in the latter part of 2025. Those will be coming very soon, hopefully when I get the time to write them. But alas, if you would like to read this 20th Jamitorial release called Singular Motifs, I'll be sure to put a link to the Imgur album of it, and of course it's posting on Instagram down in the description area of this episode of the Jamiroquai Minute down below. So be sure to check out that great read in your own time, and if any more major Jamiroquai Album 9 updates come by social media or in my own means of discovery, I'll be sure to cover them here in a future episode of the Jamiroquai Minute. But as always, this is JamiroFan2000, and I'll see you again really soon with another Jamiroquai Minute. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Exciting times, and I'll see you around.